Well, boys, we're already off to a rousing start here. It's episode 291 of the Chumpcast. Welcome. So that's 2 weeks. We've been bi-weekly here for a little while now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Life's hard.
A lot going
Oh,
on.
I didn't even tell you guys I went to the hospital twice last week.
What the fuck, man?
False alarm with Kelly, but I think the baby is going to come early, most likely. So
you think...
Just a heads up, we might really be bi-weekly moving forward. We'll see.
Wow, okay. How early was Nolan in months?
He was 6 weeks, so she's already 5. Yeah, he was 6 weeks premature. She's already 5 weeks before her due date. So she's past where she was with Nolan, but we're thinking the baby might come in the next week or so.
Wow. First of all, that's exciting and horrifying. I don't want to detract from what you're saying here, but I feel like you would connect to something that I went through the other night. I went to like this work dinner, and someone there was just like we're all getting to know each other, asking questions like, how many kids do you have? And I was like, well, I got one. I got another on the way. And this person decided that the best way to congratulate me was by telling me how miserable it's going to be when I have 2 kids.
Like, you have 2, yeah.
Went on for a long time. Like, it's so much harder. And I'm like, what do you think you're doing for me right now? Because it's not helping.
It's preparing you for the worst, and then your kid's going to be good, and you'll be like, oh, that guy was an idiot.
Also, no 2 kids are the same. I think everybody kind of knows that has kids at least. But, like, Max, I fully recognize that he is a pain in the ass. He is a handful. Like, he is constantly trying to kill himself somehow. So, if I have another kid like that, then yes, it's going to be really hard. But if I have a more calm child, then hopefully things will be a lot easier. Either way, I'm screwed. It's fine.
Most people say the second child is easier. I feel like, once you got one, you're like, he'll just run around and...
I think it truly depends. Like, every little boy I see is part monster, and every little girl I see is a sweet little angel. So I don't know. We're all boned anyways.
I think there's going to be a lot of divided time when you have 2. Like, I'm going to foresee me taking Nolan on just like Dad and Sundays where we go out and go to Home Depot and go for lunch and things. So there's going to be a lot of divided time, I'm sure, where Kelly stays back with the baby and I take Nolan for the day, which it's fine. You're going to be able to get closer to Max, but you're going to have to keep him occupied, Smithers, for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to fit our chat in here, but we've got a few people talking about either their kids who suck. Obviously, that is just like I don't even know what you would say about it. Like
Parenting.
It's a term of endearment. Like, my kid is an asshole, but I would literally die for him, right?
Yeah, so that's how much you actually love them. Is like, this little prick, I can't stand you, but I love you to the max.
Exactly, and you can always find somebody who's not a parent when you start talking about your kid being the asshole that they are, and the people are like clutching their pearls like, oh my goodness, you would talk about your child that way? Like, yeah, you don't have to live with him.
My favorite bit of all time, still one of them, is with that Louis C.K. talking about, like, trying to explain why things are to, like, his kid. And just they keep saying why, and at the end he's just like, shut up and eat your fry. And then, like, it's so good.
Is no one like talking yet? Like, I know words, but is he like conveying sentences and shit?
Not sentences, but he's putting together like 3 words where we can actually understand what he wants, which is great. Because before it was just whining and we're like, what do you want? What do you want? Usually when he's eating, because we're trying to figure out, usually it's a cookie. He knows how to say cookie now. So I'm like, no, you're not going to eat a cookie right now. Finish your sandwich and then we'll talk about it.
Smart kid.
But yeah, he's finally putting together words to where we actually can kind of see what he wants.
Yeah, my kid already swears as much as I do, which is really bad. Like, I have to find more creative ways to speak or insult my toddler, I guess, when I'm looking for something that he can't parrot back to me. So that's fun. This has been the parenting corner of the Chumpcast. Brick, how's your child doing?
I just installed my 3080 into my computer, and I'm loving it. It's fantastic. It's so quiet.
What did you launch? Say Age of Empires, you dumb.
I guess it was Age of Empires. I don't even think I put it on ultra settings yet. I was just like, I just want to play.
Wow.
Well, Sparky was telling me something about how I shouldn't plug all the plugs in because otherwise you'll like overheat it or something like that. And I was like, that doesn't seem to make sense. But beyond me, I don't know shit.
Yeah,
about
that's a conversation maybe for another time.
Exactly.
Those video cards do have a lot of power plugs, but I should also say my dog is literally like on top of me right now. You're gonna hear him whining. This is how bad his separation anxiety is because Erica and Max left, my wife and my kid left, and he's just like sitting around whining because God, terrible. The pandemic ruined him. My dog is ruined. And Erica swears that the only way to fix him is to get another dog.
That sounds about right.
No, that's like, oh, we can't fix our marriage. We better have a kid to fix it. That's not. I don't think that logic tracks.
No, then they have somebody to play with. Khaleesi's got a new friend in our house now, and they play all the time. She gets like rejuvenated. Honestly, she's skinnier and plays more. And
Remy could definitely use skinnier, but anyways, Brick, it's been about a month since we've seen you. Right, you weren't even on the last episode.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, you were. We talked about your video card.
Yeah.
My bad. Anyways, I was just going to ask you what was going on.
I've been on as many episodes as you guys have been on.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've been in fucking bi-weekly. Let's jump into recommendations. I cannot get enough of Winning Time. Are you guys caught up?
Okay, let me play a drop. We'll just go right there now. You know what I've been thinking? Like, why do we try to do things structurally? That's not who we are.
Here's some money. Go see a Star
Yeah,
Wars.
fuck chaos.
All right,
Great.
fair enough. Brick, Winning
We
Time.
try
Go.
to, and then it never pans out.
Winning Time. I literally can't get enough of it. I fucking love this show. I think it's so good and so entertaining. I've watched it once all the way through every episode with Krisky, and then I tried to get Ashley to watch it, and she's like into it too. And then her mom's in town, so we started up again with her because Ashley recommended it. So I'm like watching it a bunch, and the more I watch it, the more I like it too, because there's just small things that like you catch up on within these characters that they develop throughout the story. And everyone knows what happens, but it's like one of those things that it's just like so cool to see some of the inside action. And I like a lot of they switch camera lenses and stuff like that, and some of the fuzzy screen, some like regular, but like I think it takes you into the moment with the show itself, and it like allows them to do flashbacks. And it just, I don't know, they also like they do like game footage with it too. So it's like not actual game footage, but it looks like it's game footage. So I think they have some cool nods and cool things that they do to tie in the history. The soundtrack and score is also incredible. But I can't wait for the last 2 episodes to come out.
So this is an Adam McKay show that's airing on HBO Max about the early 70s Lakers?
79, 80.
Oh yeah, sorry, late 70s Lakers. The gentleman who plays Magic Johnson, Quincy Isaiah, is incredible. I believe he's a football player. So I've been listening to a lot of like interviews about this type of stuff, but you got to think about where do you find a giant person who can act? Because they're very few and far between. Like your options are The Rock and nobody.
Yeah, and looks like Magic Johnson, and is like a real smiley motherfucker too. Like he's always smiling. He has the same he has a very good attitude. The guy who they got to play Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is also like spot on. When I looked up an old picture of him from '79, I was like, holy shit, they're the same person.
I'm really glad you brought this up because this is always an interesting topic for me. Is like the defamation or libel or slander or whatever you want to call it. Because Jerry West is pissed. So if you don't know who Jerry West is, look at the NBA logo. That's Jerry West. Like he is quintessential NBA, like from the beginning. And they say there's a disclaimer before every episode of this show. This is a dramatization, which is literally where the lawsuit would be thrown out of court. But Jerry West earlier this week literally said, I will take this all the way to the Supreme Court because they are defaming my character.
Which is the funniest thing of all time, because that's exactly what like he's doing in the show, is just like going way over the top. Fuck this, I'm Jerry West, I'm freaking out, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to take this way to the top. And then immediately in real life, if you guys keep doing this, I'm taking it right to the Supreme Court. The other thing is, I love his character in the show. I think it makes sense why he's so fucking jaded. Those Irish fucks in Boston in the 70s would have been a nightmare to deal with.
So it's not just that. It's the fact that he wrote a memoir that talks about how shitty his life, like he was an alcoholic and he was depressed all the time and he was a dickhead to people. Like all of this is on the record in your own words. You dummy.
Well, yeah.
The show's brilliant though. John C.
Right?
Reilly's definitely going to win an Emmy.
You think?
Oh
He
my
is
God,
doing
he's
really
incredible
good.
in this.
So you're all caught up then, right?
I'm not all caught up. I'm like halfway through the episodes that are out.
Okay.
But he's incredible.
He's incredible. And they have like a Steve Brule moment in there, and I want you to find it, and it's so funny. Once it hits, text me. I want to know.
Okay.
Because it's such a Steve Brule, just like.
Yeah, I need to get back in on this. So I'm caught up on a couple of things that I was trying to get out of the way, like Halo, which I caught the last 2 episodes yesterday. Like I've been in a conference all week, not home, couldn't watch anything, and yesterday I watched both episodes twice because at the end of episode 5, Master Chief just goes on a fucking slaughtering, murderous rampage, and it is incredible. Even if you don't want to watch the show, just go to episode 5 and watch the last 10 minutes because it's just like it's everything that you would have wanted to see as a teenager playing Halo 2 in your parents' basement. It's Master Chief just doing the most.
Amazing. Okay.
You went back and rewatched both of the last episodes?
So I gave them the full attention the first time, and then I threw them on in the background while I was working. But then as soon as the battle scene comes up, I'm like, all right, close the laptop. Let's do this again. Yeah, it's really good.
It's one of those. That's wow. That's saying something.
I know a lot of people aren't into it. I don't. Well, maybe just anecdotally the people I talk to, but it's getting good ratings. Like if you look at IMDb, it's like 7.5 out of 10. So I don't know why the people that we know are shitting on it, but maybe they just don't want a story. They just want explosions.
They're too much into Halo itself. You know, like they're the ones that are playing the game and are like, ugh.
A lot of the complaints that I've heard is that they shouldn't have unmasked Master Chief. And you got to think about
fuck off.
What a pain in the ass that would be to go through the entire show like that. Like it's just not feasible.
Yeah, you know how much harder acting is when you have to like portray emotion with a guy who's super monotone as a real character. Master Chief doesn't raise his voice ever, so it would be like you'd have to have some impressive acting chops to like pull that off and make it feel good. And
not to mention, that the guy that is playing him is a giant badass who is doing a good job. So
yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy about that. But they also have to like in the first episode, they're basically like, oh, it's the Spartans, and there's so much propaganda about how shitty they are, and then you take off the helmet and they are just another person. So it like connects the two groups of people right off the bat too. I've only seen the first episode. I'm gonna go and watch it once I have more time. Let's just like. Fucking Ozark just came out, the final episodes. So I have to watch those.
I was going to mention that too. Barry just came back. The second episode of season 3 is tonight. So
what is going on? All these shows are fucking out. We don't have any time to watch them. It's crazy. Moon Knight is like still weekly.
Mark, are you caught up on Moon Knight? You've been quiet for a while.
No, I stopped watching Moon Knight. I jumped over and started watching Tokyo Vice on HBO Max, which I would highly recommend. It stars Ansel Elgort, and he's a news reporter in the 90s that moves to Japan and learns. I mean, he's a Jewish guy from, I believe it was Missouri, but he learns Japanese just to become a news reporter in Tokyo.
He's like the first white reporter.
Yeah,
for them.
He gets the job, and he basically is the only one that really wants to dig into the what is it, the Yakuza or whatever, the main gang there,
the triad.
So it's really it's not True Detective, but it does have some of those vibes. It's a detective story.
Who's the actor
with a lot of drama?
Who's the main cop detective? Isn't he
Ansel
from
Elgort, Baby Driver?
Oh yeah, no,
he
him.
was
but
most recently in what was that musical? West Side Story.
West Side Story. Well, you have Ken
Watanabe, who's in a lot of things.
Yeah.
He was the detective.
Inception.
Yes, and also in Cyberpunk. He's the character that
Batman
did all
Begins.
the mocap for that.
He was in Batman Begins as well. Yeah, Inception, Last Samurai. with Tom Cruise.
So I sat down and I did the thing where I was on HBO Max and I knew that I wanted to add this to my list, so I just hit play on it so it would be like continue watching. And I couldn't turn off the first scene because the first scene is like a flash forward to him meeting with some people who basically will murder him on the spot if they want. And so they do a good job of introing you to high stakes right from the beginning, and then it cuts into a scene that's like, 3 years prior or whatever. So that's just like the first 5 minutes. That's not spoilery, I hope. But this is on my list too. I'm definitely going to check that out.
Same.
Yeah, I watched the first two
5
episodes of... Sorry, I was... first 2 episodes of Ozark, the return of season 4 or 5 or whatever it is really are really good.
I feel like we could do a whole episode just like catching up on the shit that we've like tried to consume over the last month.
I will say the best part about the return of Ozark is Ruth, of course. If you watched where this last season ended midway through, you would know she is in a lot of distress and in revenge mode. And she basically, her thing is listening to Nas's Illmatic album to like get her pumped up and in the dude, it is great. She's just in her car.
I just see Ruth like, all I need is one mic.
Yeah. She's in her car seeking out murder, and they're playing, I think they played 4 tracks from that album in the episode that I watched last night. It was fucking amazing. And there's a cameo from a rapper. It wasn't Nas, but a very famous Atlanta rapper.
Oh, Atlanta.
I think
I thought you were going to say St. Louis. We're talking about the Ozarks. I thought you were going to say. I was originally going to say Nelly.
I thought I was going to say Murphy Lee.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye out for that.
Actually, I don't know. Yeah, it's really good.
Brick, are you caught up on Moon Knight?
I'm not caught up on Moon Knight. I watched the first 3 episodes, was super into it. It was good, and then just like I went out of town and I just haven't caught up the last 2 episodes.
It's really good, and Oscar Isaac is really good. I actually wanted to mention the Moon Knight that Jeff Lemire started writing in 2015, 16-ish. That Moon Knight run, the Lemire one. They do something that's like exactly like what's in one of these episodes where he's kind of like waking up in the mental institution, doesn't know what's real and what isn't, which kind of adds another layer, another dimension of the mystery to the story. I believe we only have one more episode, which stinks, but I'm very excited to see where it goes. I've been very happy with it altogether.
Perfect. Yeah, we should do maybe a full recap after. I don't even know. We have so much shit to review. It's crazy.
Let's just recap all these TV shows we just talked about. All right. Anything else that anyone else has watched or done? We could. No. We're not going to. Massive Talent. We don't want to do that, do we? Mark, you didn't see it.
I mean, I feel like you can't really spoil it. Well, maybe you can.
You can.
You can.
Right, we'll say. There are some things that could be spoiled. Let's just say, like, I was entertained. It's not brilliant. It's not like the best thing I've ever seen. It was good.
It was good. It was definitely worth seeing.
Yeah. Fully agree. All right, let's talk about some movie trailers.
Did we just lose connection to Twitch? Fuck.
What are you talking about?
I'm looking at Twitch.
What the fuck, man?
Did we lose connection? Hold on.
It says I'm live and still streaming, so we just got to keep going. I'm recording the audio. Worst case scenario, It goes back up later. Anyways.
Okay.
We played a drop for our movie trailers, and the first one of those is Thor 4: More Thor. We got 2 Jack Thors, so that's good. What do we think about Natalie Portman and her giant biceps?
Good for her. Get shredded. You're got to match Thor to a certain degree. Got to be lady jacked.
I'm into it. The big muscular back and the biceps, I'm into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, honestly, a whole lot. This is like Thor finding himself doing a little Rom Springa, more or less.
Getting his shit together?
Yeah, well, he's just figured out, he said he's done being a superhero, so he's like, fuck it. I'm just going to see what I want to do. You know?
But if he was done being a superhero, why wouldn't he just keep being fat forever? Like, that seems way more fun.
Maybe. I don't know. Have you seen people talking about the fat shaming shit?
I don't care. I just
care.
like I can't.
So dumb.
I can't give that any sort of attention whatsoever. It's such a dumb thing. I
They're
don't
like, why do you need to have a montage in there? It's like, just bring him back and have him be skinny and be over it. It's like,
Yep, that's
what?
That's the right thing to tell people. Is it doesn't take any work to be in shape and
Yeah,
healthy.
that's so stupid. It's
That's
just
what
like,
we should
he's
convey. Okay.
doing a montage, working out, not a big deal. He's back to being Jacktron.
Yeah.
I'm most excited for the back and forth we're going to see with Star-Lord, Peter Quill, and Thor. Just how he's so self-conscious around him because Thor's extremely good looking and he always thinks he's going to take his girl. That's just a funny relationship they have.
Yeah, it's great. They're like fighting for leadership, but also like friendship because they're like competitive. But like, I don't know, it's gonna be a really fun line that they play there.
But we also have Valkyrie returning in some kind of weird unknown role. Looks like she's a CEO of some sort. Is it like CEO of the badass military, space military, or I don't know. So that'll be really interesting to see. I like that they kind of gave her Asgard, like take it and run with it. So that'll be an interesting subplot as well. We get a look at Russell Crowe as Zeus a little bit. I don't know. This is coming July 8th. We'll all be there at opening night. I don't know what else you say.
We have not seen Christian Bale as Gore though. I think that's the next reveal people are waiting on. And I would be surprised if Marvel did not show Christian Bale in the next trailer we get for this.
I hope that they don't, and I hope that they do him in some ridiculous. So Gore the God Butcher obviously is just a ridiculous metal name. I love that Taika Waititi's just like, give me the most ridiculous shit you got. You got a Rockman, Korg, all right, I'm gonna voice him. You got a Bug Friend, you got a Gore the God Butcher. Fuck it, give me all of it.
Yeah,
I think a lot of tech he touches. I'm in.
It's incredible.
I know. Well, I think a lot of people actually. I saw a lot of people not a fan of this trailer, and I think they're the ones.
Fuck off.
Daryl mentioned this too in our Discord that the people that did not like what they saw in the trailer are the people that thought Thor Ragnarok was a shitty movie, and there are a lot of people out there that think that.
The movie's
it's
incredible.
not me. I thought that movie was great.
Fun
but
ride.
hey, you can't please everyone.
Yeah. Oh well. I'm very excited to see this. Like I said, I'll be there opening night. Brick. Love, Death, and Robots is coming back. It is your excited face that I like to see every time I mention it. Did you watch this trailer?
Of course, yeah. Like they brought up Emmy-winning shows, this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden it just cuts right to the good stuff. The old robots from season 1, and I can't. Is this the best anthology out there?
That's wow. I would definitely have to think about that. I do love this one. There's something about just like a really short, easily digestible story that you can get in and out. Something about that is so. It's probably the fact that we're sitting here talking about. We have so much shit to watch that you can get a full story in 15 minutes and just be done with it. And maybe you'll remember it, maybe you won't, but you were entertained.
Yeah, then it's on to the next one, and it's just like an interesting little story to watch and great animation for sure.
Absolutely.
Did we see anything new in this trailer? I feel like they were all just clips from the last season we got.
It was just clips. It wasn't anything new.
Okay.
Give me the mystery. I don't want them to, especially if you are telling super short stories. Like you could give me a glimpse. Like I think in the past they've done. I'm thinking about like the alien battle on that farming planet. You guys remember that episode?
Yep.
It was animated.
Great
They're
episode.
all animated, but it kind of opens and like I remember seeing the preview for that of like the wheat swaying in the wind at night and just like aliens come down. So you see 5 seconds of it. What is it? I mean, cool, but it doesn't tell you anything about the story. So you can either keep all of that under wraps or start giving things away now.
But now that they're in season 3, they've already had the goodwill built up for season 1 and 2 that they can just. I like that they're just giving previous success stories that we had, and then just like these are going to be good. Just
the people, people that have been watching this show are going to continue watching it because the animation in this is fucking outstanding.
It really is.
They don't necessarily need to show us what's going to happen in the next season.
No.
Everyone's in that has already been watching these.
I only want to see the cameos, like who's going to be in an episode. It was kind of like a Black Mirror sort of thing, except those were way longer.
Wasn't Michael B. Jordan in one of the was it last season?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good episode too.
Yeah.
Topher Grace was in there too.
He was one of the live action episodes. Yeah, very well done. Okay. Last trailer, Chip and Dale. And It sounds like Erica's just walking in with Max, so I'm going to go take care of this. You guys just go off.
This show gives me very much like Shrek vibes to a certain degree.
It's a movie, but yeah,
you're right.
Yep, go on.
It gives me Shrek vibes a lot. They're taking a lot of the old characters that we loved, Chip and Dale, and other characters that they have in there, like Peter Pan and Flounder and shit, but they're like grown up. And it just seems like they're going to be mixing a bunch of IPs. They have Andy Samberg and John Mulaney voicing Chip and Dale, and it feels like a good like bromance, like coming back together. Like it's like where they are now, kind of. And I'm here for it, honestly.
Yeah, I like how they did. I was pumped to see they kept them in the 2D rendering or animation style for the movie, while everything else is like live action. But
Like
then
Roger
how they
Rabbit.
had was it Dale or Andy Samberg's character that actually made the jump to
CGI.
CGI? That was kind of clever.
Yeah, I got the CGI surgery or something like that. So now he's not 2D; he's actually a 3D character.
False alarm.
I like how they're going to play that. What did you think of Chip and Dale?
I think it looks brilliant, and it's two of the funniest guys on the planet right now in Andy Samberg and John Mulaney, so why not just let them go at it?
Yeah, perfect. John Mulaney's going to be the serious guy, while Andy Samberg's it's like the Odd Couple. Just the goofy, like, oh, we should have stayed together, but we didn't. Here we are now.
But John Mulaney and his like patented deadpan, sad face, everything about that this sounds perfect. I mean, it's, I guess it's not like Spider-Ham, because Spider-Ham was at least happy. But yeah, I totally agree with everything you guys have said. The meta jokes about animation, and it's got a very Roger Rabbit vibe. With
Absolutely.
Did you guys see any cameos that stood out to you in the trailer?
Well, you hear the voice cast in this is ridiculous. I heard
Ooh,
Will
I didn't look
Arnett, J.K. Simmons. I don't know who else is in there.
I didn't even notice. I mean, we already said that it's Andy Samberg and John Mulaney.
Seth Rogen is in it.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Rogen,
talking
okay.
more character-wise from the WB universe.
Oh,
there were-
okay.
Like Scrooge McDuck showed up, I saw, and Aladdin was in there.
And a lot of
There was
Disney property. Oh, it is. It's good because it's on Disney.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. This is all Disney-owned property.
Warner
So
Brothers. Okay, Disney. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. You don't remember Chippendale Rescue Rangers coming on after what was the bears that flew the aquatic plane?
Oh yeah.
Tailspin.
Tailspin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit was in this trailer.
Was
wasn't
he? I don't know.
so.
I must have missed that. But
I
either
think
way,
it
I'm,
was
Will
one
Arnett-
of-
Will
one of the
Arnett plays
Cats
old
characters.
Peter Pan.
that's perfect role for him. His smoky, gravelly voice and everything.
Yeah. Amazing.
Last thing, did you see the? There was a Cats character for like a second. They're gonna for sure incorporate that and make fun of that movie.
God, I hope so. I love thinking about that movie at any Jellicle Cats. All right. Let's talk about some news. So, Netflix kind of stepped in it in the last month. Mark, you and I were talking about this a little bit off air. They lost a lot of subscribers and a lot of net profit. What do we think is going to be the outcome here?
To provide for our listeners just a little bit of background. So Netflix released their earnings, and you might have seen the stock tank. I believe it's sitting at like $180 per share. And that is essentially where it was in like 2018, I believe, around that time. So that just kind of gives you an overview of it's gone up to about $500 ish per share, and now it's sitting at 180. So an absolute tanking of the stock, which was due to an unforeseen loss of subscribers for the most part.
Unforeseen.
Yeah. Well, Wall Street did not foresee this. Who knows how they're forecasting their subscribers. But regardless, they had to cut 600,000 subscribers from Russia, which I would agree with. And they actually didn't incorporate that into their numbers that they released. So that wasn't in these numbers. They lost 200,000 subscribers in Q1, and they're expected to lose around 2 million. And I think that's what really scared people and what caused that absolute drop in prices that we saw in the shares. So
Well,
I
by
don't
now
know
they
that
did
you
it on
can count
purpose.
Russian subscribers as out forever. That's, I'm sure, a temporary situation, and that is a large
don't-
chunk of the population.
I also don't think you can consider the 200,000 or the 2 million people that they're expected to lose, to drop, to stay, because they did it on purpose, because this is a month before their biggest property ever is coming out, Stranger Things. And once Stranger Things comes out and everyone's talking about Stranger Things, boom. Oops, I guess I'm back. Fuck it. Oops. I stuck it to them the 1 month that I wasn't doing it, but I'll get back into it. It is what it is.
last thing, just to put it in another type of perspective. So Netflix has around 220 million subscribers. So you can look at this as, all right, if they lose 2 million next quarter, that's only 1%. So is that a lot? Is 1% a lot for Netflix? I might say
feels
so.
like it.
It does, if you're looking at the stock price and how people are reacting to that. But I think people are also realizing just the amount of competition now in the streaming service universe. It's going to be hard for Netflix to really keep up with those subscribers, especially if they're going to start cutting down on the people that are sharing accounts. That might piss off a lot of people with accounts, saying, hey, you can't share your password with 2 people or whatever.
Yeah,
Their
but
competitors. Go ahead, Brick.
But also, it's one of those things that, like, if you don't get people just watching your shows, less people are talking about them, and the less people go. It's like kind of a bit of a catch-22 as well. Yeah, I haven't seen it, and then you're just like, okay, I guess I'm just on to the next conversation or whatever.
I think that they're starting to realize their competitors aren't fucking around. Like, they have actual capital. Disney is sitting on literal billions of cash. Paramount, when we saw the Halo trailer, I was shitting on it, saying there's no way they're gonna have the money to make this what it should be, and I was wrong. Like, these streamers are like HBO Max, obviously is making top quality content. Peacock even just releases new shows with Craig Robinson and stuff like that, like stuff that people want. You are not the only shop in town anymore. You're still the most expensive one. Something's got to give. So I don't know. It's interesting. I did see kind of adjacent to this, Wall Street Journal said Netflix was allotting $30 million for each episode of Stranger Things for a season, which is twice as much as what HBO was putting in Game of Thrones. So they're not. Look, they know that the price of poker's high, and like if you want to play the game, you got to put the money down. So we'll see.
Do you think that's due to how much they're actually now paying this cast?
I wouldn't think it would be something similar to like Game of Thrones. I don't think any of them have the name recognition of, like a Kit Harington or a. I don't feel like any of them would demand that kind of money.
They're good as a collective, but like individually, they don't have like the biggest star power, I would say. I mean, Hopper maybe.
Winona Ryder maybe. I don't see that.
But
No.
like Winona Ryder is not like she's like a big character, but like it is more about the kids and Hopper and 11, obviously. Millie Bobby Brown's probably asking for a bunch, I'd imagine.
So what would be driving them have to throwing in, did you say twice as much money as some of the Game of Thrones episodes? Is it like
CGI.
I would think?
I mean, you've got
Game of Thrones use a lot of CGI and set design and build and all that.
Probably score. They've always had really good music, and they probably ramped it up this time, I would say.
I think they're just going to go
They probably went
bonkers.
big on everything. They probably went big on everything.
I mean, we saw our first look at Vecna. Like they're going to do a full CG villain that's, talks and assuming, mocap and all that shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they found something to spend it on.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do if you're going to be, make yourself stand out in this very, I guess, competitive market. It's all about the staples that keep you coming back.
Very saturated streaming market we have right now,
which is great.
It is for us.
We're like complaining about having too much content for once.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, boys. It's draft time.
Here we go.
So before we get into this, first of all, congratulations to Brick, who won our last competition.
About time.
So I'm going to go ahead.
Back to back, baby.
And I'm just going to tell you, like, because you're never going to admit it. I'm just going to tell you what I think happened, and we'll just throw it out there. So go ahead and pull up the Twitch stream right now. I want to see your response to this. Because what it seems like what was happening, because based on the timeline of events, I saw on the Instagram post, great work, guys, by the way, making that. Everybody was commenting, Smithers clearly won this. And through that point of the week on Twitter, I was checking the poll, and I was destroying everybody. Then Brick goes onto the Instagram like Thursday and comments, "This is bullshit." So from that point, I start seeing new followers on the Chumpcast Instagram or Twitter account, and this one shares a last name
and it was
of Bricketto. Hang on, I'm just going to mute him real quick, because what it sounds like is that you got your mom to sign up for Twitter to go vote for you so that you could win this competition.
Wow.
He's muted, so nobody can hear him right now, and it's kind of great because, like, he's going to try and talk his way out of this, but this is just evidence upon evidence.
And think of all of the friends his mom has that she goes to lunch with and is like, "Hey, can you just create your Twitter account for my son and vote for him?"
I'm just picturing Brick's mom at work, like, pulling everybody into a mandatory meeting. Like, if you want your raise next year, you're going to go vote for my son.
All right, let's hear what Brick has to say.
Brick, yes, Brick, I apologize. I sprung this on you. I'm going to unmute you now, and I'm going to give you your chance to rebuttal. So you are now unmuted.
Okay. So we were talking about the Chumpcast, and we were talking about the vote itself, and we were talking about the Jim Carrey characters that we voted on. And my mom was like, "Oh, where can I see this?" So she had Twitter already, followed her, and then she just voted for me. Sorry, my mom supports me as a person.
Yeah, see, that's what makes you not fit on this show, is that you have supportive parents who love you piece of shit.
That's why it's so obscene that my mom voted for me. Oh my God. My parents don't hate me, apparently, so surprisingly enough.
Okay.
Shout out to my mom, Ellen Mercado.
Let's reverse the roles here. You're telling me that if you found out that my mom started following us on Twitter and then voted for me, like, you wouldn't bring that up and be like, "You dork."
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you're a liar, but that's okay.
Sorry,
what we're gonna
supports you. Oh my God.
What we're gonna draft this week.
Oh my God.
I just love that you can't win on the merit of your own draft. But anyways,
these are all claims. These are all claims. You still haven't.
They sure aren't. Go look at the Instagram.
Have you done the punishment videos yet, or no?
Have I done any of them? Yeah, I've done a lot of them.
Yeah. No, have you done the one for losing the draft?
For the one that you didn't win? No, I'm not doing that.
Exactly. So,
okay, then.
Okay.
So this week we are going to draft. Well, we kind of got crossed up because we were originally going to draft Nick Cage characters, and then we are going to do some weird shit with that. What we decided was we're going to review the Northman, but we're going to do a draft based on massive talent, which is Nick Cage, and we are going to draft the people from movies whom you would want to party with. Fair enough?
Characters, yep.
Yeah, so Brick, you can go ahead and pick the order as our pseudo winner.
I'll go third. Smithers, you can go first. Mark can go second.
All right. Any questions before we get into this? Do we need to define any of the rules? This seems pretty simple, I think.
Just
we
movie characters?
It doesn't matter either way. I think my list is gonna be based on like my overall group of 4 people that I would want to party with from movies. But are these all an individual, or are we assembling a team of characters we want to party with?
You guys argue about it for a minute. I gotta go help my wife.
Okay.
Rick,
what do you think? You know what I mean? Because you should have, those certain types of party characters at a party. You don't always want the guy that's just there to just pound beer with you. You might want the guy that's there to, bring some of the recreational marijuanas.
I say it's up to you, because you can do a group of 4 that you think would party good together, or just a group.
Okay.
It's like interpretation, just kind of like the way we did drafts previously. So Smithers is first, right? So
should we just draft for him? Who would go to a Smithers party? Think of the lamest guy of all time.
Smithers.
Yeah.
So it's just him alone drinking by himself, being like, "I wish I could play Forza right now."
First of all, though, are we assuming that these people would actually go to a party with Smithers, because I don't know if any of these characters would agree to party with Smithers.
Absolutely not. They would not be a willingly participant in Smithers' party, obviously.
So
if Erica was throwing a
keep that in
party,
mind.
she would, obviously she'd get everybody. But Smithers, if he was the one throwing the party, it would just be a terrible party.
We should keep that in mind.
Obviously.
I'm thinking like what's his name?
Rick?
Kevin Spacey from House of Cards. That's like a guy that Smithers would be partying with.
What?
Huge. That's a big party guy.
Excuse me?
Absolutely.
I leave for 10 seconds and you've got me on Jeffrey Epstein's pedo island? What
and
the
fuck?
We're talking
Kevin Spacey from A Beautiful Mind, or what was that? Beautiful America, or what was it? American Beauty.
American Beauty? Wow, you got every word adjacent to that.
Yeah.
We're talking about the characters, not the actors. All right.
Yes, obviously. And I could hear what you guys were saying. So anyways, I'm going to kick this off. Sorry, I ran down here. I'm going to take Tony Stark, because I think that just makes sense. Billionaire playboy, do whatever you want. You've seen the parties that he's thrown. If you let him get drunk enough, maybe he'll let you get into one of the Iron Man suits. So yeah, absolutely. That's my number one party guy who I'd want to party with is Tony Stark.
That's a good pick.
I'm gonna go Frank the Tank, Will Ferrell.
Wow, his life is in absolute disarray. His wife is divorcing him, and Mark's like, let's go to the bringer.
2 reasons though. Even if we're not thinking of the character, Will Ferrell in general as a actor, like I would just want to party with him one day. But him playing the Frank the Tank character was perfect in my eyes for old school. So he's number 1. That was for sure on Brick's list, by the way.
I'm pretty sure he made everybody's list.
I'm surprised I didn't think of it, honestly.
Really? Okay.
But I love the pick. I think that's a brilliant pick. I won't even shit on it because it's so good. I'm gonna go with the Wolf of Wall Street. Leo. That guy just knows how to throw a fucking rager. I don't know what it is.
You end up on Quaaludes passed out in front of your...
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You just want to get absolutely obliterated and blacked out. Yes. Okay.
Well, he's got a yacht, though, and I feel like anyone with a yacht is qualified for this list.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with Van Wilder, and I'm just going to get both of the craziest partiers. Let's get, if we're going team-based, like Mark was saying earlier, I'm getting the funding is coming from the Wolf of Wall Street, and the ideas is coming from Van Wilder. That party is about to be fucking nutso.
See, I think though that was a product of its time. Like we were younger when we saw that, and like, this is a sick party, but it's like Keystone Light in kiddie pools and shit, and like it's okay, but
that's how we get the Wolf of Wall Street. Now he's throwing parties on yachts and shit.
All right.
Van Wilder is Ryan Reynolds, right? That was Ryan Reynolds' character. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Mark, who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with McLovin from Superbad.
That is an interesting choice.
Just so awkward, but he is the guy at a party if you just need to kind of make a dumbass comment to, or make fun of somebody on the spot as you're just getting completely obliterated. He's that guy that you'll fire shots at.
McLovin. So you can just, there's always a guy.
Shut up, McLovin.
Yeah. Just like, okay.
Wow. Mark needed a target to bully at his party. Jesus. All right. I've got 2 picks here. I'm going to take Austin Powers, who is a staple in all of our drafts. He throws sick ragers no matter the decade. He would have been at Studio 54, whatever. He's definitely the party animal that you would want to hang out with. And he's got so much mojo to go around, so why not? And I think with my 3rd pick, I'm going to go with another Will Ferrell character, Ron Burgundy. Epic house parties, epic pool parties. He's got a room that smells of rich mahogany and always wheels of cheese. Yeah, Ron Burgundy.
You guys both pick Will Ferrell characters. I feel like I'm obligated to pick a Will Ferrell character now.
I feel like we could do a draft exclusively that is Will Ferrell party characters, though.
Yeah, easily.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, Mark, you're up.
I am going to go with... God, that's such an obvious one. All right. I'm going to go with Peter Dante Dante from Grandma's Boy. I would assume he comes with the monkey, right? He automatically comes with the monkey.
No, because you don't get Van Wilder and Taj. You get Van Wilder.
Oh,
You gotta pick one.
But we do get his bulldog with his bloated balls. So I'll allow the chimpanzee.
Yeah, I want the monkey. I want the monkey too.
Fair enough.
The monkey is like his sidekick.
That does not sound fun to me. Just being so paranoid.
So Dante's super high as balls. Frank is obliterated. And then you have McLovin standing there awkwardly. Yo, sick party, Mark.
Yeah.
Sick party, dude.
Jeez. All right, Brick, your last two.
My last two. I feel like Thor would be just fun to party rage balls with, but I just don't know if I want to go with Thor. So I'm going to hold off on that one just yet. I am going to take my Will Ferrell character. Is going to be Chaz from the Wedding Crashers. If he can make a funeral fun,
he doesn't make it fun. He manipulates someone who's in mourning.
Yeah,
That's a terrible pick.
It's just I think it's just funny to have on your party squad.
The picture.
He's the one who invented. He invented wedding crashing.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
He knows how to party.
This guy invented heroin. Let's party with him.
Seems like such a creep.
Yeah, that's a horrible pick. But the picture in the Instagram post has to be him like,
and
what an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely the picture. That no question about it.
All right.
Reasons why I don't like that character.
Be him at the funeral.
Hold on. I don't like that character because he seems like an absolute mooch. I mean, he lives at home with his mom and makes her deliver him whatever he wants. So that's the guy you would bring out with you. Would say he didn't have any money to throw in for beer. He would just be an absolute creeper, scare all the girls away at the party. I don't like that pick at all, Brick. I'm sorry. I don't like that character.
He just brings in ladies. Last pick, I'm going to go with Bluto.
No, he doesn't.
I'm going to go with Bluto from Animal House.
Makes sense. He definitely would be the guy who barfs all over your floor and shits in the top of your toilet, though.
And gets the chance going and is hilarious. Oh damn, you know what? There's a couple that I want to bring up later after the draft, but go ahead.
All right, Mark, who's your last pick?
Oh, this was tough. I already kind of have a high guy at the party, so I'm going to go Mr. Chow from The Hangover.
Wow.
Okay.
I love my
does
party
he
right
enter
now.
your party by springing out of the trunk of a car nude?
Maybe. Just with a full push.
With a crowbar? Yeah. No,
I
thanks.
think Smithers might pull this one away. The Austin Powers one was sneaky. Actually none of those three were on my list, I'll be honest.
I'm about to throw this away with a pick that nobody is going to know because I'm old. But Rodney Dangerfield gets no respect, and Thornton Mellon from Back to School is an all-time party character, showing up to university just as the rich dude who puts a hot tub in the dorm room. Like he was Van Wilder before Van Wilder.
I like that pick. That was actually on my list.
I love that movie. I think it's brilliant. And it's so funny. Like, it's the classic fish out of water, like, twist on your head where your son is the one who's trying to do good at university and dad shows up to fuck it all up. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. Back to School, it's an 80s classic.
Speaking of, like, somebody picking on the twerp at the party, imagine Rodney Dangerfield with McLovin at a party. just... That would be absolute chaos.
Jeez, kid, where's your mother?
Yeah.
Imagine if our parties were all scheduled at the same time at the same place, just had the craziest party of all time.
Yeah, okay, so let me recap the picks. My team is Tony Stark, Austin Powers, Ron Burgundy, and Rodney Dangerfield from Back to School. Mark has Frank the Tank from Old School, McLovin, Dante from Grandma's Boy, and Mr. Chow from The Hangover. Brick has The Wolf of Wall Street, Van Wilder, Chaz from Wedding Crashers. That's got to be the worst pick. You know, even in drafts that you win, you never fail to have the worst pick on the board.
I always like to just do one just for my own justification, just because it's fun. I don't like to pander the whole time. I always like to have one personal pick.
The Thor pick would have been good. Do you remember that What If episode that was the Thor party on Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I don't remember that. I don't remember that one.
Oh, maybe you didn't see it, but he kind of fucks things up. So... maybe, but who else? Ferris Bueller was somebody who I thought was going to get picked. I don't think it's a great pick, but
The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, he's.
I had Chris Tucker, Smokey from the Friday movies on my list.
That's pretty good.
He almost made the fourth spot, but I couldn't have him and Dante. I needed a little bit. I needed to switch things up.
I
Get
just
into the Greek
realized
Aldous Snow.
everyone on our list is a white dude.
No, Mr. Chow isn't.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yep, that's the one. So that's the one outlier.
Aldous
Okay.
Snow, Braun from Game of Thrones. I feel like he'd be fucking great to.
I mean, what
Party
about
with.
Tyrion just sitting around at the brothel with a flagon of mead?
Yeah. The other one that I thought of was Bill Murray from Space Jam. Just party with Bill Murray because he's fucking dope as hell.
You'd probably party with Bill Murray from Osmosis Jones.
Just like sick with COVID, basically.
We also don't have any women on our list as well. I had Kristen Wiig as Annie in Bridesmaids. She's proven that when she gets pretty hammered, she's hilarious on the plane.
Yeah.
She's like, "Stove."
I think my biggest problem is I just would outdrink all of them. That's
Yeah.
not great. But anyways, fun draft, fun to argue about. Anybody else have other picks that didn't make it?
Billy Madison was on my list.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he's too big of a shithead. He's like Chaz.
Sean Penn Spicoli from Fast Times was on my list.
Stifler's mom.
What about Dom Toretto? You just go to the barbecue?
Nah, it's too family. Ugh.
Wow, somebody hates family. The family that bailed him out of the fucking voting on Twitter. All of a sudden,
no.
Brick is ungrateful.
What
About
about
all just
Ellen?
drinking Coronas and like revving car engines and shit.
That sounds
What about
dope.
Zach
That
Galifianakis?
sounds the lamest thing of all time. Ugh. Look at my car.
What about
a
Alan
tank
from Hangover?
From space.
No, absolutely not.
He's kind of a shitty. He's like a dork ass that you don't really want to. You're like,
and he'll drug you.
he's like a Mr. Magoo, of like just bad things that happen.
Yeah, too much wild card in that one. That's why we don't hang out with Brick anymore.
That's right. That's why I moved away.
All right, boys,
Couldn't
let's
handle
move
it.
on to our review. All right. So, by the way, Mark, I did check the Twitch stream. It's still running. I don't know what the hell happened there. Mine froze too, but we're up. So, it's review time. That fart means it's time for us to talk about The Northman. So, this was actually, it released last Friday. Currently at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
79% from fans. I got to be honest, I didn't get it. Let's set up the plot here, though. Prince Amleth, played by one of the Skarsgårds, who I don't remember the name, Alexander. He is on the verge of becoming a man when his father is brutally murdered in front of him by his uncle, who he thought he could trust. His uncle then kidnaps his mom, Nicole Kidman. She was weird in this.
She was weird. Yeah.
So the mom gets kidnapped 2 decades later. Amleth is a Viking who's just going to get revenge, I guess, and save his mom. He has this mantra of repeating things that he's going to do. And I don't remember how it went anymore because it was not very good, to be honest. But here we are. So, Mark, with movies like this, I like to kick it off by asking, how was the jackedness and how was the murderness?
The jackness and the murderness in the first act was unreal. I was very, very pumped up and excited just for the possibility after watching the first 40 minutes of this movie. I was fully in. I was all in, and it soon died out, in my opinion. It started slowing down a lot, and it seemed like this whole revenge movie wasn't really going to play out the way I had anticipated. But yeah, it just wasn't really what I expected towards the end. And I think I should have been more prepared for that with it being a Robbert Eggers movie. And I enjoyed The Witch and even Lighthouse, but yeah, things got really art housey, and it was a beautifully shot movie, but overall I kind of wanted more of that Viking, hey, let me just run through all these little colonies and seek out this guy that murdered my dad, and it didn't really seem like that was the whole mission towards the end.
The one shot of them pillaging through the village in the first time, where he was literally Shredotron is jacked, was an incredible scene. Shot at night with everything burning and fires and stuff like that. And then you're right, it just kind of died down. The pacing was just really bad in the movie. And then I just didn't. There was a point where I just didn't care about the character anymore because of this the stakes and his like I guess reasoning behind everything was just like kind of
Yeah. I think my favorite scenes though were, to your point, that was like the ending of where like one of the last scenes where I realized like, hey, this movie's not what I wanted it to be. And some of my favorite scenes were at the end. I thought that scene on the volcano, there's a scene where there's a battle on a volcano, and that was really freaking cool looking, and I wanted more of that. And I thought that was more of what we were going to have. The whole pillaging scene, it was a really well shot scene, but at the same time, after that, I was like exhausted. Like, holy shit, that's a lot to take in. Like how there was no remorse with the Vikings, how brutal they were to these innocent civilians and these people. I'm like, okay, I get it. Maybe I don't want that throughout the whole movie, but I at least wanted a little bit more action, and we didn't have that. Whether it be like these one-on-one battles with Alexander Skarsgård's character.
No one went into this movie having seen the trailer and thinking like, I want to see Amleth go through a personal journey of discovery. Mm-hmm. What we wanted to see was him to go kill everyone who had wronged him as a child, and be a complete badass on the way there.
Be a complete Viking savage. Like
that's what we wanted.
What we wanted.
I don't think we got that.
Not at all.
Other than more in like spurts. Anya Taylor-Joy is in this movie and adds nothing. It doesn't do a good job of defining the lines between what's real and what's fake. Because I didn't know. So that, for instance, there's one scene where he goes to take on this like knight white, like WIGHT, like a skeleton type thing or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Like the Game of Thrones white.
Yeah, he's going to get a blade, right? And you have no fucking idea if that's really what happened or if it was like in his head. And it's fine, I guess, but by the end of the movie, you need to know what was real and what wasn't, because it ends on something that's even way more out there, which I don't think we really need to talk about. But yeah, this is wild. I didn't fucking get it.
It like went in the different direction that you'd think. Like it went like Viking mythical magic, but like magic that was like maybe it's fake, maybe it's not even real, maybe it's hallucinating, maybe. But like, so I agree that wasn't ever defined, and then like his revenge just gets thwarted to a certain degree, and you're just like,
I think that the lesson of the movie was supposed to be like, don't seek revenge, but we're talking about Vikings.
Yeah.
Like Vikings go for revenge.
Vikings literally have blind rage of just like, fuck it.
Literally, they talk about berserkers like that. Don't see anything from them, just kill. And that's what I wanted. That's what I fucking wanted out of this movie, and that is not at all what we get.
So,
I think we should mention though, because there's the people that like these movies, I feel like are the critics that are like, oh, this is a Robbert Eggers movie. You just have to see how beautifully shot it was. Dude, there was like lighting effects that he used. There were some scenes in this where I'm like, that is one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen. Like one of the coolest captures of filmography from a director that I've ever seen. Like the way he was using lighting, specifically the one scene with Amleth and Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Olga or whatever, when they were like laying together in the forest, just the way that scene was shot. Like I noticed all that stuff. Yeah. Like I'm not saying I didn't notice how beautiful this movie looked, but I feel like some people just get taken that takes them away to where they're like, oh, this movie was the best thing ever, when
it doesn't fix
they
the
need
plot.
To realize like, yeah, it does not make this a good story and a plot that makes sense because of how amazing the scenes looked in this. It just, but I just want to say, I did notice that if you're looking for a gorgeous movie, yes, Eggers does a phenomenal job with his vision of how this should look, this movie. But at the same time, yeah, the story just didn't do it for me.
It's beautifully done. Some of the performances are really good. I didn't care for Anya Taylor-Joy, I mentioned, and I didn't care for Nicole Kidman just because I don't think it was her. Just that role was weird.
Her face was weird, and her role,
her face was weird.
It's like didn't fit. It was like too puffy for like, just seemed super out of place.
Well, she's like super, I don't know, Botoxed. Like that doesn't look that
Exactly.
doesn't fit in with Viking times, you know?
Exactly. It just looked off.
It'd be like if
from
you
that
stuck
regard.
Kim Kardashian in the Renaissance.
And
Everybody look at her and be
Kim
like, what the fuck
Kardashian-
is this?
Yeah, and she probably could have played just as good of a role because this role, I agree, was like pointless and stupid, and she just like, I don't know, I didn't quite believe. I don't know, I did not believe her character, but I didn't like. The stakes were broken. It was broken stakes at that.
Yeah, Eggers just wanted Amleth to like suffer for the entire thing.
Yeah,
There
and
was
then he
no
did-
good thing that ever happened to him. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's about it for me.
We had a lot of
That's
cool
what-
names like Fjolnir.
What'd you guys think of Willem Dafoe?
I loved him. I thought he was incredible.
Yeah.
They should have had more of him.
Yeah, the one thing I had in here would be a on-screen Psychos draft, and I feel like
Just Willem Dafoe?
I know, it'd be a Willem Dafoe draft of his craziest
Green
villain.
Goblin,
Yeah,
the Lighthouse. Yeah, you could probably just keep going for a while. He's played
Boondock
vampires
Saints.
a couple times. Yeah.
this movie. Yeah, we already have. Yeah,
So we feel like generally this was a missed shot at a good Viking movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, fuck.
skip it. I'm gonna say skip it. I didn't enjoy it really. And I
I really want to say skip it, but I think that Mark made some good points about how it was shot. Like, if you want to see something visually stunning, this is good. The plot's, but if you're super into Viking shit, then save it. If not, it's not for you. I'll say save it.
Yeah, this isn't the Viking series that we've had over the years. This is like, hey, we're gonna get some really cool Viking shit in the first 40 minutes. It looks like, and then it just is boring, in my opinion.
that was my last.
Besides
note
how it
taken was
looks. So I'm gonna
invasion. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna say save it though.
Okay.
I'm gonna say save it. I think it deserves to be watched from some specific type of people that have that like certain movies
That aren't
but
us. People that
for
like
us,
art house shit.
when we go in there thinking, oh, there's going to be all this blood and stuff, and yeah, that doesn't necessarily happen.
If you feel like you would rather watch a black and white version of a movie, then go see The Northman.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, maybe don't. Okay, so
Good
what's
way to
on the
look at it.
docket for next week? Do we know? It's May. Happy May, guys.
Doctor Strange.
It is May.
No. Yeah, Doctor Strange.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty easy layup then. I haven't gotten tickets for that yet.
Either have I.
I did.
Oh, wow. Thanks for the invite,
be okay.
Mark. Are you going to see this without me? You going to go to the bringer with somebody else?
Yep. As usual,
Wow.
per usual.
I meant to ask you, what did Pat think about The Northman? So we went and see this with Mark's cousin, too.
He thought it was long. He was kind of on the same page. At the end, he was just like, "What the fuck was that?"
The
Yeah,
ending will
I
have
think
you
we're all
walking
kinda
out like,
like
what
that.
the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah,
I forgot
he
how
kinda-
long it was. It did feel long
Yeah.
too.
I didn't mind that it was
Pat-
long, like going into it either, because I was excited for it. But
Yeah, Pat's a big weird he's a big fan of these A24 type movies. Even though this A24, I don't think it
No.
was, but
It felt like an A24 movie.
yeah, he likes the art housey, especially from the horror genre side of things. Like Eggers doing The Witch, he was a huge fan of that, so he was really looking forward to it. But I think he did want more of like the Alexander Skarsgård just running through people to get to this one guy he wanted to kill and have revenge on.
this was a
we didn't see.
Focus Features film,
Okay.
so they do some horror and weird shit like this. But
Mhm.
are you okay?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so next week should be Doctor Strange then, and thanks for everybody who is tuning into this live or is catching this on the podcast. Things got hectic there for a couple of weeks. We're going to try and be back on a regular basis, but if you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. Tell a friend, just have them download. We appreciate it. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. And until next week.
Jumps out, motherfuckers. Peace.